So we will discuss labor and industrial laws in India. To start with, how many of you tell me know the difference between uh, what is a minimum wage as against uh, what is a living wage and a fair wage? I hope you guys can unmute yourselves and speak, right? So you see, guys, this is probably whatever we are reading here in context of labor and industrial laws, okay, comes under the purview of industrial jurisprudence. Comes under the purview of industrial jurisprudence. Okay, and it all started, uh, or is a development of mainly post-independent period. Once India wins its independence, after that it all started. Although uh, its background was already prepared, way before, since the time of Industrial Revolution itself. So mainly it was a shift from a kind of blatant, I'll say, uh, जो लेजे फेयर इकोनॉमी जिसको कहते हैं, और द कैपिटलिस्टिक मॉडल, so shift from this model to more of a welfare state, more of a welfare state. Okay, so you can say that this was all these labor and industrial laws came in India because हम capitalistic model of, say for instance, the contract or the freedom of contract, say we were more moving towards the amicable relationship between employees and employer. Or you can say it all started with a change in the concept of master and servant. It was a movement from the change in concept of master and servant to employees and to employers and employees. So the idea behind master and servant and employee and employer was that one who invests capital is no more a master. ठीक है? और जो लेबर लगा रहा है वो सर्वेंट नहीं है. They are employer and employees, and the firm may hire the latter, but he cannot fire him at his own will. So to protect the right of employees, okay, or the interest of employees in many respects, okay, very many legislation came into play. And that is how, labor laws in India developed. So industrial society को अगर तुम देखो, industrial society all over the world, okay, has been moving during the present century from contract to status. Contract to status. Okay. Are you guys there listening? Yes, no?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Can I
sir.
get a yes type from all of you? Type in a yes, all of you, those who are here. ठीक है. So ये जो पूरा struggle था ना, this complete struggle was a demand for better share in the production and profit of the industry, as you all know, and the employers' hesitation to part with it beyond a certain limit. So the laborers were demanding a little more share, and the employers were not willing to part with it, and that is how it all started. Okay, so there are certain principles which are considered to be fundamental in almost all developed economies or countries in the world. So what are the basic principles on which the principle of industrial jurisprudence is based? We will discuss laws as well separately. ठीक है, but मैं पहले कुछ basic principles की बात कर रहा हूँ on which these are based. Okay, what are those so-called basic principles? So please know, first is the right of workmen to combine and form association or union. First of all, the right of workmen to form unions. Second is that the right of workmen to bargain. Okay. Third is that the realization or the feeling that economic struggle is inevitable. The realization that economic struggle is inevitable. The fourth is that, of course, a shift from capitalistic model to welfare state. Not socialist state, but welfare state. Okay. Tripartite consultation. What is tripartite consultation? मतलब उसमें एक तो यूनियन होगा, ठीक है, दूसरा एम्प्लॉयर होगा, ओके, और तीसरा स्टेट भी उसमें एक पार्टी होगा, ठीक है. स्टेट विल आल्सो बी अ पार्टी टू दैट कंसल्टेशन. And last is that a minimum standard must be guaranteed through the state laws. A minimum standard guaranteed through the state legislation. So these are the 6 fundamental principles on which the industrial jurisprudence or the industrial and labor laws is based upon. So it is largely derived from these 6 fundamental or basic principles. Okay, now let us come to the concept of wages. Yes, so there are 3. First of all, please know that there are 3 kinds of wages. क्या क्या है possibility? Do you guys know? Can you guys speak a little bit? मतलब थोड़ा सा participate करो यार, otherwise the class becomes very monotonous. So what is a wage? Wage is a monetary compensation. It is a monetary compensation remuneration or a personal expense or labor paid by an employer to an employee. Okay, that is the basic concept of, that's the basic definition of wage. And it has been defined in the section 2. This is also important for your general knowledge. Section 2 of the Minimum Wages Act. Minimum Wages Act of 1948. Okay. And so far, wages को लेके बहुत सारे जितने भी अभी तक इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट्स हुए हैं उसमें मैक्सिमम डिस्प्यूट वेजेस को लेके हुए. Why? Because there are 18 different concepts of 18 different definitions of wages present so far. Okay. So when we talk of wages, तीन कंसेप्ट होता है वेजेस का. One is the minimum wage, second is the fair wage, and the third one is the living wage. Now, what is a minimum wage, guys? Minimum wage वो wage होता है below which your employer cannot pay you. If your employer is not capable of paying you above that X amount, the employer has no right to exist in the market. That is the minimum wage. Okay, that is the minimum wage. However, the term minimum wage itself is not defined in the Minimum Wages Act. The term wage is defined, but minimum wage is not defined in the Minimum Wages Act 1948. Okay, so I'm again repeating, the minimum wage is the lowest wage in the scale below which your employer has no right to pay you. It cannot do so. Okay, so it is understandable that an employer who is unable to pay, right, below this has no right to exist. So when a person provides labor or service to another for remuneration, okay, below the minimum wage, then it is called as forced labor. So what is forced labor? जब minimum wage से below आप pay करते हैं and still the person works for you, okay, or is forced to work for you, that is called forced labor. And the concept of forced labor, Abhijit, minimum wage is somewhat below which I cannot pay. As in, for example, yes, Abhijit. Okay, forced labor जो है उसका definition Article 23 of Indian Constitution में दिया हुआ है. Okay, Article 23 of Indian Constitution में दिया हुआ है. And if a person is forcing you to work as a forced labor, okay, you can invoke Article 32 or Article 226 of the Constitution of India. Okay. Also remember, guys, this class is just a informative class. Okay. This is not a legal awareness series. Okay. This is not from the legality of all these terms. Okay. However, we will try to look into the legality of terms as much as possible. But मेरा जो concern ये है कि as a management graduate, you are supposed to know these terms and these acts. Okay. Not as a lawyer, but as a management graduate. Okay. Now, what is a fair wage, guys? Fair wage means something more than the minimum wage. Okay. Fair wages means something more than the minimum wage. It is between the minimum wage and the living wage. Okay. So fair wage is something, uh, so fair wage is something, uh, which can provide not for your basic minimum, sustenance in the society, but also, okay, some kind of social security for your old age. That is the fair wage. Okay. और जो सबसे highest concept of wage है, that is the living wage. So living wage is paid by the countries who are into the top of Human Development Index, especially some of the European countries and some of the Nordic countries. Okay, so it is not only about the fair wage, it is not only about the basic subsistence or sustenance in the old age, but also it is a kind of wage that will consistently provide you certain facilities like recreation, okay, education for children, protection from ill health, okay, social need, insurance against old age. Okay, so living wage is something that is sufficient to ensure you food, recreation, okay, comfort as well, some kind of comfort, okay, and for old age disorders, old age trouble and worries as well. Okay, it also includes minimum level of comfort, leisure amenities, okay, such as health, education for children, traveling भी include करते हैं इसमें, ठीक है, and something that is estimated from the current human standard. Okay, so that is why if you see जिन countries का human development index बहुत अच्छा है, they pay living wage. Yeah, we can say it vice versa in a proper way, that the countries which pay living wage to their workers are the happiest countries. Okay, guys, so this is the concept of minimum wage, fair wage, and living wage. Now, I'm coming to one more important concept here. Now, अभी आपने न्यूज़ में सुना होगा ना कि बहुत सारा, India has enacted 3 codes on employment condition, isn't it? And it has, अभिजीत, there are many such countries. नॉर्वे को ले लो, डेनमार्क ले लो, स्वीडन ले लो, ओके, ब्रिटेन ले लो, फ्रांस, यूरोपियन कंट्रीज एंड नॉर्डिक कंट्रीज. टॉप 20 में जितने भी ह्यूमन डेवलपमेंट इंडेक्स में कंट्रीज हैं सारे, फिनलैंड, नीदरलैंड, डेनमार्क, नॉर्वे, हॉलैंड, स्वीडन, ओके, फ्रांस, जर्मनी, स्विट्जरलैंड, ठीक है, या so the recent changes has been made by the government of India, okay, and it is called the Industrial Relations Code. 2020. Okay. Now, what is this industrial relation code? अभी आपने न्यूज़ में सुना होगा ना लास्ट ईयर दैट अभी 1 अप्रैल से या 1 मई से कुछ लॉ इनैक्ट होने वाले हैं, ड्यू टू व्हिच our pay cut will be there and lot of changes will be incorporated, isn't it? So the government of India has made some changes in the existing labor laws, right? Have you not? So it has enacted 3 code. Okay, one on employment condition, one on the social and security and occupational health condition, and third on safety and working conditions. Okay, and the code on wages was enacted previously in the year 2019. Let me write it down here. Code on wages, ये 2019 में इनैक्ट हो गया था. Okay. So industrial relations code में 3, I'm writing it here again. So that is called, there are 4 kind of codes enacted. Okay, one is the IR code 2020, first thing. Okay, तो इसमें 3 laws हैं IR code में. It replaces and repeals these 3 laws. One is the Industrial Dispute Acts. (1947). One is the Trade Union Act. Okay, ये 1926 में आया था. And one is the Industrial Employment Act. Okay. So I am calling it A. Okay. Now come to B. This is Code on Social Security. Code on Social Security. Again 2020. Code on Social Security 2020. Okay, so ये code क्या कहता है? It seeks to amend and consolidate the laws relating to social security. Okay. And what is the goal of this code? The goal of this code is to extend social security to all employees and workers. Okay. Either in the organized or unorganized sector. So ये total जो है ना, ये total it repeals a total of 9 laws. Total 9 laws हैं इसमें. Need not write it here, but especially 2 laws हम इसमें discuss करेंगे. Out of all those 9 laws, 2 laws are the ESI Act, okay, Employee State Insurance Act, okay, of 1948, and one is the Maternity Benefit Act, which we are going to discuss today.
1961 वाला ना सर?
Yes, 1961. ठीक है. So out of total 9 acts, और इसमें 9 acts कौन-कौन से हैं? I'm reading it out to you. We have Employee Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1952. Second Employee State Insurance Act जो अभी हम डिस्कस करेंगे 1948. एक Maternity Benefit Act है. Okay, चौथा है Employee Compensation Act 1923, the Employment Exchange Act of 1959, the Cine Workers Welfare Fund Act 1981, Payment of Gratuity Act 1972, the Unorganized Workers Social Security Act 2008, and the Building and Other Construction Workers Welfare Cess Act 1996. Okay, so this comes under the, all these acts comes under the Code of Social Security. Now, a third code is introduced that is called Occupational Safety, Health and Working Condition Code.
सर वो लास्ट वाला बोल देंगे क्या? अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड के बाद वाला सर, 2008 के बाद वाला जो आपने बोला था.
The Building and Other Construction Workers Welfare Cess Act.
सर ईयर बता दीजिएगा.
1996.
Okay sir, thank you sir.
So occupational safety, third code जो introduce किया है, Occupational Safety, Health and Working Condition Code 2020. ठीक है. इसमें बहुत सारे एक्ट्स हैं यार. इसमें फैक्ट्रीज एक्ट है 1948. So yes, let me write it down. In total, it repeals and replaces a total of 13 acts. ठीक है. आई एम रीडिंग इट आउट. व्हाट आर दोस 13 एक्ट्स? सो ये सारे 13 एक्ट्स को ना एक ही साथ कंसोलिडेट कर दे रहा है. सो ये जो कोड पहले, ये जो लॉज थे ना गाइस, ये सारे ऐसे स्कैटर्ड थे. सो अब इसको 4 कोड्स में डिवाइड कर दिया. आप समझ रहे हैं? ये जो कोड, ये जो इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ है टोटल लेबर लॉज रिफॉर्म्स की जो हम बात कर रहे हैं 2020 में, seek to consolidate all these acts in 4 code, and it also replaces and repeals some of these acts. So इसमें total 13 acts में क्या क्या है? Kindly listen. Factories Act 1948 है, Plantation Labor Act 1951 है, Mines Act है, ठीक है. And if you are taking labor and labor relations and HR and labor relations, especially in organization like TISS and XLRI and Calcutta University, okay, so you're supposed to read at least कम से कम 20 acts तो इसमें से आपको पढ़ने होंगे.
सर इसमें कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेबर एक्ट भी इंक्लूड किया गया है ना?
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेबर एक्ट इंक्लूड किया गया, ये पहले वाले में था.
ओके,
सॉरी,
इस वाले में है?
कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, हाँ, अनऑर्गेनाइज वाला पहले में था. कॉन्ट्रैक्ट
यस
लेबर एक्ट इसमें है.
इसमें है,
यस.
यस सर.
So it is Mines Act 1952, Working Journalist and Other Newspaper Employees and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1955. Then fifth act जो है, the Working Journalist Act 1958, Motor Transportation Workers Act 1961 है, बीड़ी एंड सिगार वर्कर्स एक्ट 1966 है, Contract Labor Act 1970 है, Sales Promotion Employees Act 1976 है, the Interstate Migration Workers Act 1981 है, Cine Worker and Cinema Theatre Workers Act 1981 है, the Dock Workers Act 1986 है, okay, and the Building and Other Construction Workers Act 1966 है. Okay, so the government of India intends to implement all these labor code in the year 2000 by April 2021. I don't know how many of it has been, repealed and replaced. If not immediately, but definitely the government of India is going to do that. Okay, now we will see all these law in some of its details. So let's start with the Industrial Dispute Act. Okay, the most important and the most crucial of all. The Industrial Disputes Act. Okay, guys, 1947. So when we usually see act, okay, so इसमें हम बहुत सारी चीजें देखते हैं. जब एक्ट पढ़ते हैं तो पहले हम इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ द एक्ट पढ़ते हैं, ठीक है, बट वी विल नॉट गो इनटू दैट डिटेल्स. इंट्रोडक्शन पढ़ते हैं, फिर स्कोप एंड ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द एक्ट पढ़ते हैं कि कहाँ कहाँ एक्ट जो है वो अप्लाई हो सकता है, किस पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया में, ठीक है. फिर उसके बाद मेन फीचर्स ऑफ द एक्ट पढ़ते हैं. Okay, then we go to definition part. Okay, then we go to definition part, and then we go to adjudication and all such things. Okay, so yes, so Industrial Dispute Act. So what is the scope and the object of this act, guys? The scope and the object of this act is, in general, is industrial peace and economic justice. Because if you see, the prosperity of any industry depends upon its growing production, and production is only possible when industry functions smoothly without any interpretation, any interruption, pardon. Okay, so there are some factors, okay, that influence the production, and because of these factors this act came into being. अच्छा, कहाँ कहाँ apply होता है this act? Okay, so let me write it down. This act applies to, it extends to whole of India. and it came into operation on 1st of April 1947. Now, what is the object of this act or the objective of this act as proposed or analyzed by the Supreme Court of India? The objectives of this act. Okay. बहुत details में है, but you can like note down some of the key words. Okay. Is of course to secure amity and good relation. Okay. So amity and good relation between employee and employer. Okay. Is one thing. The settlement of dispute. थर्ड जो एक इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है ना यार, इज कलेक्टिव बार्गेनिंग. ओके. फोर्थ इसका इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है प्रिवेंशन ऑफ इलीगल स्ट्राइक्स एंड लॉकआउट्स. Illegal strikes and lockouts. And then we can further go into what constitutes a government, what is the definition of a government, okay, what is the definition of worker, what is the definition of average pay, what is the definition of award, okay, what is the definition of an employer, what is the definition of board, okay. So all such definitions we can see, but there is no use definition dekhne ka, because again, as I told you, we are not studying law here. It is just for, you know, just for the informative purpose of it. Now, what are the main features of this act? These are the objective of this act, and the main features of this act are, just say for instance, you can say that in case of layoff or retrenchment of workmen, the employer is required to pay compensation to them. That is the main feature, one of the main features. Okay. One of the main feature you can say that factory बंद होने के या establishment close होने के case में the workmen are supposed to be compensated. Okay. Another feature is that strike and lockdown are to be prohibited. Not really, never, Abhijit. Okay, just a very elementary part. At least, matlab, you must show them that you are aware of these things. Okay, nobody is going to ask you the definition. Okay, nobody really know the definition of government without looking into the books. What constitute a government? Who is a worker? Okay, what is the definition of appropriate government? Okay, Abhijit. So उसमें तुम्हें कभी भी definition कोई नहीं पूछेगा. जैसे say for instance, अभी अगर मैं book से read करूं, the definition of government, appropriate government is given in the section 2 of the act. So appropriate government का definition देखो, without and you have to quote it word for word, verbatim, without which you cannot really, you know, quote it properly. So देखो, अगर मैं book से पढ़ूं इसको, तो I can read it like the central government as well as the state government are vested with various powers and duties in the relation to matter dealt with in this act. In relation some industrial dispute, the central government and okay, ... So the appropriate government is the central government in relation to following. Now again, the relationship is given. In what context a central government is the appropriate government? In what context the state government is the appropriate government? So any industry carried on or by other authority of the central government or by railway company or concerning any such controlled industry as may be specified in this behalf by the central government or a dock labor board established under section 5A ... Okay. So no need to do that. No one is going to ask you the definition of it. Okay, guys. So this is about Industrial Dispute Act. Now come to the ESI Act, Employee State Insurance Act. Let's come to the ESI Act, the Employee State Employees State Insurance Act of 1948. So this act is largely to take care of the social security schemes, okay, of the worker. And it was largely propelled by the World War II. So what this act does, okay. So ILO has made the following, the International Labour Organization has made the following, recommendations. Now, what are the recommendations? To provide for compulsory sickness. These are the key words if you can retain and speak in the interview, nothing like that. Compulsory sickness, maternity and employment injury benefits. Maternity and employment injury benefits. Not maternity benefit, but maternity and employment injury benefits. Now the section 1 of this act, section 1 of this act is about the application and scope of this act. It extends to the whole of India. There's the first thing. Okay, let me write down one or two more features of this act. Okay. Yes, guys, one important thing. So there are three categories. Section 6A defines three categories of dependent. There are three categories of dependent. Who are they? First is a widow. Second is a minor legitimate or adopted son. No, it is not for specified seasoned employee. it is not for seasonal employment. An unmarried, legitimate and adopted daughter, unmarried, legitimate or adopted daughter. And the fourth is, sorry, and the fourth is a widowed mother. Okay, so 4 categories of dependent यहाँ पे हैं. Now the kind of injury is also defined. Okay, that what should be the ingredient of an injury. Okay, that the injury must be personal to an employee. The injury must be caused by an accident या वो occupational disease से होना चाहिए. ठीक है? या accident must arise out of and in and during the course of employment, and the employment must be insurable. Okay, so ये चारों facts हैं of Employee State Insurance Act. And it was propelled because of the labor conference in October 1944. Okay, it was propelled because of, on the recommendation of ILO, International Labour Organization, in the year October 1944. So if you can recall this much, that is sufficient. Okay. Now come to Maternity Benefit Act. Maternity Benefit Act. Okay, so Maternity Benefit Act, as you know, I mean, it has been a lot into, discussion these days. So it was enacted to regulate the employment of women in certain establishment for certain period before and after childbirth. Okay, and to provide for maternity benefit and certain other benefit. So this act extends to whole of India. Let me write it down. This act extends to whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir, but not now, except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Once Article 370 was repealed, okay, now it extends to now the complete law of and the Indian Constitution is equally applied to Jammu and Kashmir as well. Okay, and what is the scope and the objective of this act? The objective of this act is to do social justice to women workers. The objective of this act is to do social justice to women workers. Where it can be applied. So section 2 of this act, talks about the application part. Section 2A says to every establishment which is a factory, mine or a plantation. You can quote these words, factory, mine or plantation. Okay. Also, it is also extended to the exhibition of equestrian, acrobatic and other performances, which means circus वगैरह में भी ये extend होता है, ठीक है. To every shop or establishment, to every shop or establishment, okay, in which 10 or more person are employed. Employed on any day okay, so this is given in the section 2. Section 3 again talks of the definition part that you can exclude. Okay, that what is an appropriate government? Okay, who is a child? Child includes a still unborn. Okay, delivery means the birth of a child. Employer means ... Okay, maternity benefit. Yes, one important thing of this act is that the maternity benefit, what constitute or what is the definition of maternity benefit, that is defined in the section 5(1) of the act. Section 5(1) of the act. Yes, Abhijit, there have been some changes. It has been extended from 6 months to 9 months. Okay, so maternity benefit means the payment referred to in the section 5(1) of the act. Okay, now the definition of miscarriage is also given. Miscarriage means expulsion of the content of a pregnant uterus at any time or ... Okay, which is punishable under the Indian Penal Code. Woman mean a woman employed, whether directly or through any agency for wages and any other establishment. Okay, section 5 also provides right to payment of maternity benefit. And what does it say? It says that a woman wage payable for her for the days on which she has worked during the period of 3 calendar months. Okay. Immediately preceding the date from which she is absent herself on the account of maternity. मतलब उसके पहले at least 3 months तक, okay, she must be employed with the employer given. From which she is absent herself on the account of maternity, okay, or 1 rupee a day. It was of that time 1 rupee a day, whichever is higher. Okay. Now section 5(2) is also one important section. Section 5(2) states that, no woman shall be entitled to maternity benefit unless she has not worked in an establishment of the employer from whom she claims maternity benefit for a period of not less than 160 days in 12 months. Okay, so at least 160 days in 12 months, that is a precondition to claim benefits. but it shall not be applied to a woman who has migrated into the state of Assam and was pregnant at the time of immigration. I'm writing it down here, not to be applied to a woman who has immigrated to the state of Assam and was pregnant at that time. Section 5(3) tells us the time period for which she can claim maternity benefit. She shall be entitled. Okay, so she shall be entitled for maternity benefit for a minimum period of 12 weeks. Okay. कुछ और इसमें sections देख लो that is important for you to quote. Section 5(b) provides benefit in certain special cases. Okay. Section 7 is also important in case अगर woman का death हो जाता है. Okay, so payment of maternity benefit in case of a death of woman. Okay. Section 8 also includes the payment of medical bonus. Means all these are the ingredients of act. Payment of medical bonus. Section 9 is also important. Leave for miscarriage. Okay. और miscarriage का definition already दिया हुआ है. Okay, as per the Indian Penal Code. Section 11 talks about the nursing break. Sorry, Section 9. Section 11 of this act talks about the nursing break. And Section 12. Okay. Which means that when a woman is absent from the work, according to the provisions of this act, she shall not be unlawfully discharged or dismissed. Okay. On the account of such absence, okay, by her employer. So the discharge or dismissal of a woman at any time during her pregnancy, if the woman, okay, have been entitled to maternity benefit, okay, so she will not be deprived of the maternity benefit or the medical bonus. Provided that where the dismissal is for a prescribed gross misconduct, okay, the employer may, in by order in writing communicated to the woman, deprive her of the maternity benefit or the medical bonus or both. Okay, guys. Yes. Now speak something, some of you. This was all about the acts, the bare act that we are supposed to know. ठीक है, so आज यही end करते हैं class. This I'll send you in the group. So I hope if you'll know this much, I think you can either write anything or speak anything if you are asked to do so. ठीक है, बेसिकली ये देख लेना कि ये कौन कौन से कोड्स में जो है 3 कोड्स जो मैंने बताया ना, इंडस्ट्रियल रिलेशन कोड, कोड ऑफ सोशल सिक्योरिटी एंड ऑक्यूपेशनल हेल्थ एंड वर्किंग कंडीशन कोड. In addition to that, this is the code on wages 2019. So 3 codes, 3 different codes were introduced in 2020 और एक code on wages in the year 2019. Okay guys, so यहाँ end करते हैं class आज. Thank you all of you.